Not exactly sure to begin with this week with Ghost 14. It's continuing on from last week, but aside from actually getting through to Kara on the. Okay, a lot did happen this week, so it's kind of why I'm not really sure where to begin. I guess I should start with the Ganma plot, as we're finally getting an idea of what their ultimate goal is, and it's another homage. See, back with Black RX, they were kidnapping people to. Well, actually, they didn't really kidnap people all that much, so I guess that isn't comparable, but, it's kind of the comparable reference that Black RX had people from alternate dimension, their world was dying, so they were bringing back people. Sorry, they were bringing people over, except they're doing this in reverse with the Ganma world. The astronaut Ganma is capturing people's souls using his powers, that's confirmed now, and to do something in the Ganma world, either slaves, repopulation, but it's bring a better context to what was going on here that the first arc didn't really give us. That Saionji was helping them give bodies to the Ganma. They stockpiled the supplies, but they didn't actually need the icons as more than a weapon. So they didn't really want the wish that gave back life. They wanted something else that gave power. Use them as powerful artifacts. And as we saw before, way back earlier in the show, when a Ganma devoured one of the ghost parkas, that it became super powerful and opened a gate that would have opened a gate if Takeru hadn't happened. So I guess it would have just sped up whatever the Ganma are trying to do, and that's why why they wanted them, which is good context. And I kind of wish we had something with Saionji that was more tangible, because his context of this is coming after his death, and that's not exactly a good thing. But from that, we can kind of see how Makoto would have come into this, with him and Kanon trapped in the Ganma world. They would have been allies or tricked into this. We're not exactly certain yet, but it probably would have made them aware of this other dimension, so they might partially be at fault for this. I don't know. We'll see soon enough. But yeah, they're taking people's souls, which is bad. Leaving them dead. Effectively dead. Fortunately, Takeru puts an end to that once he gets the Sacho Alliance thing Ryouma wanted done, and that's the second part of this episode. In Takeru's frustration in there's a bigger concern right now with the Ganma attacks than this family quabble, which, as I thought last week, I don't exactly remember if I mentioned or not, but yeah, the brother in all of this, they used to have a trio instead of the father-son thing, and the other son died in an accident, which we actually see a bit of. Saw that he got hit by a car after running after an argument that pretty much broke up their dynamic. The father, out of guilt, and the son still inspired to continue on in their name, but with the dad stalled on that because of that loss. It's understandable that it's like him seeing it. His refusal to help his son is more out of his own self-loathing and lack of motivation and his grief, which are all good things that give context and expand on that initial cause that aren't really caustic. They explain why he was acting like a jerk in a human way, which ends up being resolved through Takeru learning more about the situation and helping the two not exactly come to terms with it, but help them bridge the bond that had been broken by that tragedy, because the son was still continuing on. And this gets him the power of Ryouma, which is ship-themed. It's like he has a dragon stylization on the icon and on the faceplate, but the overall look is like a, it's white like sails. The shoulder pads evoke, an old-time wooden sailing ship, and there's octagonal markings that kind of look like the steering wheel of that kind of ship. So it's kind of like mixing your metaphors, like, this is going to be space themed. He does the Uchu Kita thing, and he's themed after sailing ships, and the people he were helping were satellite based. I guess it's in the idea of exploration and going to the unknown, but okay, I guess the future is kind of an unknown, and Ryouma's thing was building the future by uniting people in the present, and space travel is only something that it's not something that comes from one person. It's from many people working together from the most basic steps to get people, even one at a time, off the planet. So I guess there, if you look at it the right way, there's kind of the correct moral and relation in the modern age to what Ryouma was doing back in his time. It's just that it feels flimsier than it should be. But at least we got the Force reference out of here. Yeah, the thing with the Ganma really is reminding me a lot of Black RX, because, well, they didn't try the whole soul-taking thing, but with them transplanting their own people onto the planets through the Ganma Kaijin forms, I feel there's a greater parallel there we're only beginning to see. And also on the Ganma side, I didn't mention this before, but we finally saw Aran's brother, who we're going to see become Kamen Rider Necrom in a few episodes. And, you know, this whole relation between the siblings, where's their father in this? Where's the Emperor? I haven't brought this up to now because it didn't seem really relevant to these vlogs, if I didn't bring it up. If I did bring it up and I'm forgetting, I'm honestly forgetting. My memory's terrible. There's been a increase in people considering that the Sage, Senin, might actually be the Emperor of the Ganma world, and, you know, here's the idea I'm getting from all this. The initial Ganma world connection has to have begun about 10 years ago with Makoto and Kanan coming over, and then with the Ganma world's hellish state, maybe with that connection made, the younger siblings overthrew their father, or at least put him threw him out of the throne, and they're the ones precipitating this conflict, as Senin may have been more, what's the phrase, conscious about not doing that or something. There's got to be a reason for this conflict, and it has to originate in what the Ganma want, because they didn't, as they've not appeared previously in the franchise, and there's no been allusion to them in any form with how they're setting this up. It's like what they're doing has to be recent, or I'm just grasping at straws here, but the Senin being the Emperor of the Ganma world thing makes too much sense to disregard it. Makoto's having an interesting time, too, in that he's being more, I wouldn't say sociable, but definitely helpful, coming in to help Onari in his part of the investigation of the Ganma conflict, and taking an active hand in helping Takeru gather the icons. No, not gather the icons, but taking up Takeru's place in keeping the Ganma from their goals when he gets involved in it with everyone. Problem is, though, he's having an issue with one of his icons, and it's probably why we haven't seen him use it. He can't seem to trigger the Houdini icon. In fact, we actually see in one of the battles in the episode this time, him try to transform into the state, and the icon won't switch to its active mode. Like, it's going from the iris configuration to the one with the number on it. It won't change. It won't switch. which is probably why he hasn't used it before now. He can't get it to work for him. So I guess what's happening now with Takeru in having to unite all the souls is also something that kept Houdini from appearing previously. He got Nobunaga and Tutankhamun to help him due to his drive and resolve, something Takeru now was getting past with Ryouma, while Houdini's been rejecting him for we don't know. That's being dealt with next episode. I'm looking forward to next episode. So it's like we're approaching a turning point again, because almost all of the icons are in someone's possession. We've got like one rogue, two in the Ganma's hands, and Takeru's got most of the stuff otherwise. Now, I'm wondering now if we're going to see the prior ghost icon forms updated into boost forms, like, overlaid with the boost costume. Because with how they've designed Ghost's outfits, that would totally work. Because, the form change is just adding a different jacket. I'm hoping that will be a step in Takeru getting the other souls together, because otherwise it would be, kind of a waste of an arsenal if they don't get used past a certain point. I mean, we know the graceful Damashi form is a unison of all of the souls, meaning he should be able to switch to any of the weapon configurations at will, but it would be nice to see not just the 2-3 icons exclusively in boost before that happens. I know about the Legend Rider Damashi net movies. I'm waiting until a few more, all of them are out, to actually talk about them, because I think that would be a story that's better together, because I watched the first one already, and there's not exactly much to go on there. Plus, it's only 10 minutes long. There was an interesting thing, image I found with that, though, where it compared all of the Legend Rider soul forms with a image of a dead or dying Heisei Rider they're reflective of. So it's like, that's... And if you've not seen it, you can see it on my Twitter. It's interesting because, they were dead, or a spirit, or were dead inside because they lost an aspect of themselves, specifically Eiji. So maybe, when they got better from that, not all of them came back, which would allow them to, bridge the heroic essence, because, their part of their soul is already gone, and while the rest of them still lives and is active, to create the Ghost Parka Rider forms. I guess I'm grasping at straws here. I want to wait until we have more with those, because, it's just guesswork at this point. So, everything else is on track for now. I should be getting to work on the next actual Tokusatsu reviews soon enough, and my regular stuff is on my regular site, Daily Motion. See you all next week.